Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Now, today on the table in front of us is a knife that's been around for just a little while, but it has gained a fair amount of traction. People seem to really like it, and I know that I do. I have really enjoyed having it. This is the Civivi Shredder, and this is Civivi doing what they do best, as far as I am concerned. It is a large knife, as you can see. It is hand-filling with a fair amount sticking out the bottom. It has a nice long blade. It has that fantastic Civivi hollow grind. This thing is a real slicer. It is beautiful to look at. It is G10 on steel liners with a D2 blade. And it is, well, I think it's my favorite Civivi, actually, to come out in a very, very long time. Now, the only other Civivi that I own, I've had a lot, but they tend to come and go, is I have the Civivi Backlash in Damascus. That is also kept around because it is such a good slicer, such a good worker. This is as good, but a little bigger and a little more comfortable for me, and it's got this marvelous choil. Let's get some dimensions out of the way, why don't we? You get 1, 2, 3, almost 3.5 inches of cutting on 4 inches of D2. The grip area from just behind the flipper tab is 1, 2, 3, 4 full inches, actually 4 1/8. The overall knife is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. Well, wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5 inches long. I wanted to make sure I got that right. It is, as I said, very, very comfortable to hold on to. It has a very nice deep carry pocket clip. Civivi is very, very good at that, including flathead screws underneath the clip so that nothing interferes with when you slide this into your pocket. It comes all the way up to the end, which is very nice. It has great spring and great ramp. They do a marvelous job on their stamped steel clips. It has a G10 backspacer with a built-in, as you can see, a built-in lanyard hole right there. If you lanyard, I, don't, but if you did, this would be a great way to go. There is some jimping on the spine of the blade, right where your thumb needs to be, or at least right where my thumb needs to be. And you can choke up, and of course you can get your finger nice and forward for draw cuts. It is excellent for push cuts. Nothing interferes with the cutting path. Well, there's this hole. Now, some people don't like these. They say that stuff gets caught in there, but, I got to tell you, I've cut up cardboard and paper and some rope, and I've never had a problem with that. And what that does is allows you to deploy the thing, not only with the flipper, which works, by the way, so snappy. Every single time you can push button it. You can light switch it. You can also finger flick it, which of course is my favorite way to deploy a knife. I think it's fun. Oh, maybe I can thumb flip it too. Nope. It is a little deep. Some of you might be able to, but I can't. Let's do some size comparisons. Like I said, this is a big knife. Here it is up against the Rat Model 1, and as you can see, these knives are identical in length and very, very similar in all of the dimensions. In fact, these would be very competitive with each other. This is a little more expensive. But I'll tell you something, this is a superior knife. This, of course, is AUS 8 steel. You can get these in D2, but then they're closer in price. This is AUS 8. It's flat ground. It is a great worker. This, in that great Civivi D2 with this beautiful hollow grind, man, this thing is stabby. I mean, if you're gonna, do a little hammer grip, a little gas station fighting, this thing will serve you exceptionally well. Let's go ahead and put our bug out up there. And as you can see, it is a much, much larger knife than the bug out. Let's get some blade specs out of the way. I really like this thing. I had kind of given up on Civivi. I love their knives, but they just didn't appeal to me. And for a while there, when all of their knives had those gold liners, no, that was not my thing. But they have moved away from that and into a direction that I just think is, well, stellar, to be honest with you. This is a fantastic knife. So let's go ahead and see how thick the blade stock is. If we come back here to the thickest point, you can see that we are just at 3 millimeters, which is a nice thin blade stock, particularly when you come down to the bottom of this hollow grind. I mean, it is a razor across paper. Through the handle, the grip area is 12.9 millimeters, or just over a ½ inch. At its tallest through the handle, it is just at 1 inch, which means it fills the hand really well. I really enjoy this knife. I do. You know, in the world of $2 and $3 and $4 and $500 pocket knives, yeah, something like this comes along in the $65 range, $50 range, something like that. And it just blows me away because it is so well done. There is no billboarding on the blade. It is totally clean. And in fact, the only thing on the knife itself that tells you at all where it's from or who it is the Civivi pivot. And man, I think that is really, really cool. Let's weigh it to see how much it weighs in the pocket. The Civivi Shredder comes in at 3.8 ounces, so it is just right at that ounce per inch of blade for weight. It is very, very well done. And if you look in, you're not going to be able to see it, unfortunately, but inside, these liners have been milled out like crazy. There is a ton of weight reduction going on inside this knife. I love stuff like this. I love the black hardware at the pivot and all the screws. It is thoughtfully done. Now, is it the cheapest? No, of course not. You know, this is, but it's still a very good budget knife. You can spend less. You can, but it shows. This is milled out in such a way as to be comfortable in hand. The look at the way the liner lock right through here has been jimped. Grabs the thumb beautifully. And I think that's really the best thing about this knife. It isn't that it's, you know, 50 bucks or whatever it is. It's that they put as much thought and energy and effort into this knife as they would into one of their more expensive knives. And it just shows. Civivi is really, really killing it lately. I guess that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. This has been the Civivi Shredder. If you guys are looking for a really excellent knife in the $50 price range, you know, 50 to 60 this, man, you cannot go wrong here. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I have enjoyed owning it. This one is back mine. It is part of my collection. If you have any questions about the Shredder or, you know, any of my knives, feel free to ask down in the comments. Please like the video on your way out. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. I'd love to see you here on a regular basis, and we'll see you next time.